DeAndre Hopkins still out there as a free agent. We know the Patriots and Titans are interested. Jake Trotter, ESPN Browns beat reporter on ESPN 850 Cleveland, talking about any interest at all between the Browns and DeAndre Hopkins.
If Hopkins' market completely dries up and he wants to come to Cleveland for $4 million on a one-year deal, the Browns will do that. If Deshaun Watson goes to Jimmy Haslam between now and the start of training camp and bangs his hand on the table and says, "This is my guy, I want you to sign him," then I don't know what's going to happen. But short of that, the Browns like their receiving core. They like Elijah Moore. They feel good about what they have, and this is not something that they have ever been interested in.
With that, let's welcome in Tyler Johnson from the Faithful Dogs podcast, as well as Network 216. And I think you can throw Dalvin Cook in that conversation, too. Again, if Hopkins comes and says, "I want to play here and I want to play here for, $3-4 million, they'll probably do that. But Hopkins isn't doing that, nor is Dalvin Cook.
Exactly, Dave. I mean, it would be fantastic to have DeAndre Hopkins on the Browns roster, having that previous chemistry with Deshaun Watson. You saw the best year statistically for DeAndre Hopkins with Deshaun Watson as his quarterback. I mean, truly, it would be a match made in heaven if you're looking at from just one of the best wide receiver quarterback duos in the NFL with Hopkins and Watson. But the Browns, you bring in Elijah Moore. You traded significant draft capital to bring him to the Browns. You draft Cedric Tillman in the third round. You still have David Bell, who's a former third-round pick. You have Donovan Peoples-Jones, who the Browns really like, even though his future with the team beyond this season is iffy with his contract. And, of course, you have Amari Cooper. You have so many players that the Browns have at wide receiver. Oh, and they signed Marquise Goodwin. So, obviously, Hopkins, his level is above pretty much all of those guys except maybe Amari Cooper. But at this point, why would DeAndre Hopkins take that less of money when you can go to the Patriots or go to the Titans and make probably $10 to $15 million, close to what Odell Beckham Jr. might have gotten, what he got with the Ravens? So Hopkins, again, unless he's willing to take a lot less, kind of like Jake Trotter said, I don't see him coming to the Browns either, even though he would be a lot of fun having him back with Deshaun Watson. But then you bring in Dalvin Cook, and I've seen it suggested that the Browns should look to add Dalvin Cook because he can play that Kareem Hunt type of role. While I'm not against that, the issue with Kareem Hunt is the Browns wanted to move on from paying a backup running back $5 million. So you think Dalvin Cook's going to come in and play for $3 million, $2.5 million? I don't see it, especially with him being 27 years old, when he can go to Miami or he can go to the Jets. That's another team that's been rumored to have interest. And he can go to one of those teams, make a little bit more money than that, and probably be a starter. So, again, it would be awesome to add those two, let alone one of them. But financially, it just doesn't make sense. And it doesn't seem like what the Browns want to do. Because, again, if you wanted to do that, some could say you could just bring Kareem Hunt back, even though his play really tailed off at the end of last season. But the Browns don't want to pay a running back anywhere near $5 million again.
Yeah, and Cook wants in the neighborhood of 10, 11, which is what he was set to make with the Vikings before he was cut.